Yo, it's your boy AJ. I'm here with Chubbs. We about to break down the Sixers. Heat. Looks like the Sixers snuck up and shocked them. We're going to talk about it. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe. You're now tuned in to Hoops World.
Hoops World.
James.
Right here, the king is like, hey, guess what? I'm still the king.
I hit the streets just to get a bag. I pack, he got toe tagged. I punched the nigga for shorty. I'm John Woo with the 40. You not gang or the homie. Don't blow me, no, you don't know me. Gang shit, members only. You wasn't there, I was lonely. You wasn't there, I was lonely. Dog nights, blicky on me. I was just stacking my commas up. Head down, trying to run it up. These niggas be steady.
Yeah, man. This was kind of a banger, not going to lie. Every time I watch the playoff games, I get a banger. So this was a good game to watch. Wow. Looks like 76ers are going to play the Knicks, but we're going to break down the game. So the first half, I just saw a lot of Miami zone. I think the Miami zone was the story of the game. Miami went on two big runs. In the first quarter, they went on the 8-0 run, and then they went on a 9-0 run in the last minute. Halftime, it was Heat 51, Sixers 39. And this Miami zone was just incredible. Like, I can't even call it if it was a 1-3-1, 2-2-3. It was just – it's like a matchup zone. You don't know what the Heat are going to throw at you, and it really, really confused the Sixers. Joel Embiid was smoking layups. But what did you see in that first half that led to the Heat being such a, like, dominant performance in that first half, bro?
Well, obviously outside of that zone obviously was like the main culprit in all of it, but majority of it was Sixers kind of stepping on their toes a little bit, looking nervous in the early stages of the half. And then kind of when Joel Embiid sat, they kind of looked like sitting ducks for the most part. They didn't know who was going to be the guy to really get it going.
Yeah.
And mix that up with the Heat zone, they just went on a run, and then you just down 14, and Joel's smoking layups when he comes back in.
Yeah. Holding his knee, he was like hurt. It was like a weird kind of situation for the Sixers, and they weren't shooting well. And then the big part of it was this stat right here: the Sixers had 12 turnovers, shooting 17% from three, and then like Chubbs was saying, they were just confused against the zone. Now, the points off turnovers, Miami had 17 points off turnovers. So, like, it's just like defensively, they were so locked in, and they were shutting down the Sixers in that first half. It was like lights out, deflections, transition buckets. Jimmy had like 3 or 4 steals, and was just
on a bum knee as well. That needs to be talked about.
Jimmy's knee did not look good. I mean, it was one play. I think it was early in the first half. I wish I had the clip, but he came down wrong. Ever since he came down, I think it was the second quarter, and that was key because in the later part of the game, Jimmy kind of disappeared because he was amazing in that first half. I think he had like 17, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. Like, he was going crazy. And then that injury happened, and he just like kind of slowed up. So
the fatigue set in, the pain probably set in, the adrenaline drained, and you kind of see it took him out of the game. It took him out of the game.
So halftime, it's 51-39, and then third quarter comes. The Sixers go on a big run. They follow a 39-point first half, and then with a 30-point third quarter. 12 first half turnovers in the first half, and then they realized Philly went to 2, so they limited the turnovers. And then, of course, this man came out of nowhere to save the Sixers. Nic Batum. Like, the Batum show was insane. I couldn't believe my eyes. I was like looking on Twitter. People were like, what is this? Is the Nic Batum game. Like, he came alive, and I think he had 7 threes. Let me look at his stats. Shooting insane from 3. Like, when you get help, I think it was Nic Batum, and I'll give Buddy Hield credit because Buddy Hield did give him a little switch in momentum too. But yes, talk about Nic Batum, bro. Like, were you expecting this out of like who could have called this Nic Batum hitting 8? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like,
but Batum was a good player when he was in his prime, but I did not expect him to go off like that. I expect him to be the hero of the game. But for me, it's not even the shooting. It was more so his defense in the key moments. Yeah, like him forcing the backcourt violation. I was like, whoa. Then again, staying on the key ball handlers off the inbound. That was like, he was the point of attack of the defender for most of the key moments down the stretch. I'm like, what the hell?
That's what I was surprised about too. Like, I'm glad you brought that up because he was able to switch and defend and guard guys on the perimeter. Like, I'm watching this man trail off of Jimmy Butler screens and tag Jimmy Butler off a screen and follow him, lock him. You know, the key block he had in the fourth quarter. He was defensively, he shot insane from three. And then he played defense on the other end. He had 1 block, 5 rebounds, shot 6 for 10 from three, 7 for 12 from the field, and 20 points. So it's like he was all over.
Yeah, but like not to downplay his shooting night, because like if he didn't have that shooting night, we would be talking about the Miami Heat right now. But shooting nights like that versus a team like the Heat, a lot of times they go in vain because the team overall doesn't put the defensive runs together to keep up with the Heat.
Yeah.
But also add on to their score as well while defending the Heat well.
I agree.
Nic Batum has managed to do both of those things. And I haven't seen that before, especially at his players where he is now in his career. And
he's like 35, 36. I'm watching this man, his 6'3". I'm like, this guy turned into a prime Steph Curry.
He's keeping up with players quicker than him. He was on Tyler Herro like white on rice. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So that fourth quarter got close, but back and forth the game, and like I said, that injury for Jimmy Butler was so precise, so clear, because he did not look the same after that. He was holding his knee. He just was not an impact. He was a spectator. And then Bam, I'm also going to call out Bam. He was a spectator. He got 2 fouls early. He kind of lost his rhythm, and we didn't see Bam just do anything. It was just it just didn't. He lost his aggressiveness. He wasn't shooting. He wasn't doing his midi dance, hitting the midi. He wasn't going to the rim. It was just ghost performance from the Heat. So they ended up losing down the stretch. Joel Embiid came alive at the right moment in the fourth quarter, because Nic Batum and Buddy Hield was the role. It's funny because the role players kind of carried Embiid until the fourth, and then Embiid was like, "I'm awake, I'm gonna cook." He started cooking, and then it was raps after that. But what did you think was key for the Heat to lose this game? What were your like negatives? If you're a Heat fan, like you're like, damn, why did we lose this game? Like,
I mean, obviously you can say Jimmy Butler getting hurt down the stretch.
Yeah.
He was still in the game. He still made defensive plays. Yeah, he was still getting steals on a bum knee. But like I said before, once that adrenaline wears off after injury and now it's starting to hurt, like he did the steal, did the dunk, and he was just wincing back down the court. Like that, it's very clear like it was going to be a decline of him trying to make an impact into the game.
Yeah.
Another thing I could add, Tyler Herro. Outside of maybe the fourth quarter, he was pretty much just trash.
Yeah,
like,
I agree. He didn't wake up until the fourth. Like you could argue his shot selection was a little crazy during this whole game.
His shot selection was borderline terrible. Just terrible.
His shot selection was crazy during this game, and then I'm like, the fourth quarter, he started hitting those tough shots. Like he caught rhythm, but it was like too late because like, it was weird because the Heat dominated this first half, and I'm thinking in my head like, oh, they got this. But then, you know, who would have thought Nic Batum was just, he couldn't miss. The zone, I think the biggest story of the game was the zone, but the way they countered the zone, like Nic Batum was the zone buster. He was in the corner, because usually they say when you want to break a zone, hit the high post or you got the corners. You know, and so Joel Embiid still drawing attention because he's Joel Embiid. They passed it to Nic Batum in the corner, and it was just lights out. You could not miss. So,
it wasn't also Nic Batum, but it was also just the team as a whole.
Yeah.
Not let Joel be a sitting duck out there, and on top of that, matching the aggressiveness with the Miami Heat.
Yeah.
You know, Kelly Oubre, he's going to be an unsung hero for me for this game. Tyrese Maxey coming in when he needs to.
Yeah.
Obviously, Nic Batum, Buddy Hield had his moments here and there. It was a collective, the role players collective, and they got around their guy who clearly didn't have it, and they managed to make this game competitive, and put it in a position to where Embiid could come alive in that fourth with Nic Batum and everybody else, and that's what led to the win.
All right, but next I want to talk about the Sixers. Well, let's talk about the losers, Heat, first, and say like, do you think that they're gonna make it? Whoever we're watching this Hawks Bulls game going on right now, do you think the Heat still have a chance? We don't know if Jimmy Butler's injury is that serious, but it didn't look good going down the stretch of that game. I think they have a couple days to, fix up. But what are you thinking? If you're a Heat fan, are you nervous going into this, whoever wins this Bulls-Hawks game?
If it's the Hawks that win, I'd definitely be nervous. Guys like DeJounte Murray and Trae Young in an elimination game, a one-game scenario, that's just a nightmare for any team, honestly. It really doesn't matter who you are. Those two guys you got to face those in a one-game scenario. That's going to be a tough night.
Yeah.
If it's the Bulls, honestly, I'd be sleeping peacefully, and that's not to disrespect the Bulls.
Yeah. I mean,
for what it's worth,
yeah.
both Hawks and Bulls defense is not that good, but the offensive talent on one team, I would kind of be a little more nervous compared to the other. So that's kind of where I see it. If it's the Bulls, I favor the Heat. If it's the Hawks, you better pray that zone gets the Hawks out here.
Exactly, because
anyhow Trae gets it going, or even DeJounte, it's just going to be a pain in the ass. It's just going to be a pain.
Yeah, because I think it's weird because the Heat, I think, were in the same position. Was it last year that they were in this? I feel like they lost the first game, and then they went to. I feel like they were in this position before, but they won the play-in. They won this going home play-in, and then they went to the finals.
Yeah.
So you don't know what happens, because I mean, if they win this this playing game and play the Boston Celtics, you know what happened last year with the Boston Celtics. I know everybody thinks, oh, the Boston Celtics should kill the Heat. It should be a sweep. But we thought the same exact thing last year, and look what happened. So I'm still not sleeping completely on the Heat. I mean, like I said, I'm more nervous if it's the Hawks, because you never know. NCAA tournament, single game elimination, it could be wraps. So, but yeah, so going forward with the Sixers, man, with quick preview before we end this, how do you feel about a Sixers Knicks matchup? Are you favoring one side? Do you think the Knicks are going to have more trouble, or Knicks fans are going to be like, oh, relieved, we're playing the Sixers, we're good? Like, how do you feel?
I'll say this. The Knicks obviously coming to have this season has been a revelation for them.
Yeah.
Obviously spearheaded by Jalen Brunson, guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, obviously. I'll say this: the absence of Julius Randle, despite people saying, "Oh, he should be there, they'll be better if he's healthy," I would argue it's an advantage to them.
Yeah,
more
I think they're better without him.
Mind you, that is a size, and that's a 4 coming onto your team that can give you 20 points. Yeah. But Julius Randle in the playoffs has been hit or miss, and more.
Yeah, he's ghost in playoffs. He's ghost mode in the playoffs. So
especially when you can just make him go left, and it's just wraps for him.
Yeah.
So I'd argue that evens out the shot distribution, a little more efficient shooting. Josh Hart in the series, I think he's good for 2 games to give you a really good game.
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson, I'll say this as far as Jalen Brunson, the Sixers do have the defenders to go at him.
Lowry is going to be key for that series. He's going to be, because his defense was great tonight. Like on the ball, I realized that too about the Sixers. They're better this year on the ball defense with Lowry. Batum was playing great defense. Oubre was playing great on ball defense. So they have, like you said, the pieces, the weapons to like defensive frustrate Brunson. And outside of Brunson, it's like you got to worry about OG and Josh, but it's like it's like on paper to me, the Sixers look like the better team, but you still can't. I still have my questions about the Sixers, because down the stretch they be choking sometimes.
Absolutely. Okay, I'll say it like this. I'll do the Sixers and then get to the Knicks. For the Sixers, the X factors have to be anybody but Joel Embiid. What can you contribute? Joel Embiid is going to do his thing.
Oh, he did. They got nobody to guard him.
Yeah, the Knicks front court, I think Mitchell is out, right? I believe.
He played. I remember him playing against the Nets when we played them, but I'm not sure about his. He's on and off, so he could get some minutes. He's coming off the bench, and I think it's gonna be Hartenstein, right? Hartenstein and Mitch.
Yeah, it's Hartenstein, Precious Achiuwa. So that front court rotation, if the best big man is Mitchell Robinson as Embiid, you got to go after that. So I think Joel Embiid is going to have at least 3 good games in that series.
Yeah.
For the Knicks, OG Anunoby has to be a huge factor defensively and offensively.
Yeah.
we know Brunson can get his 30.
Yeah.
We know guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart can get theirs. But OG, for me, he has to come in and be that X factor, that 20 points per game,
Yeah.
get you some
Someone's got to help
rebounds here and
Brunson.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah, be the help defense on Embiid if you have to. Kind of just be that Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, because this is why they got him. Because last year Brunson was on an island. He was amazing, but he was on an island. He was dolo. He had all the buckets, but it's a team game, so he was playing like 1 versus 5. So they got OG now. So
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. But make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe. Appreciate you guys for tuning in to Hoops World. Again, we're gonna dive deeper into that Knicks Sixers series when it happens, but we'll be back for the second play-in. Appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you hit that like button. It's Hoops World.